Yeah, of course we're here about Pyramid Giza again. The only reason that we're still here is because people are not putting this thing into perspective. I still can't believe how many people are going, yes, the Egyptians did it, you're ridiculous, you're ridiculous. What are you talking about? What reality are people living on, right? Or in, should I say? Pyramid Giza is 2.3 million stones, 2.3 million stones, right? They weigh 2.5 tons, right? That's the bread and butter of just one pyramid, Pyramid Giza. The Michigan Stadium, the sports stadium in the US, it seats 109,000 people, okay? 109,000 people. If we divide 2.3 million by 109,000, that's 21. So we're going to need 21 Michigan stadiums sold out, right? Sold out. Can you imagine one Michigan stadium with 109,000 people sold out? It's 109,000 people in there, right? All of a sudden, they're 2.5 ton stones. All of a sudden, you've got 109,000 people just turned into 2.5 ton stones in that stadium. What's that going to look like? Okay. What is 21 stadiums going to look like? 21 stadiums with 109,000 people in each stadium, but they aren't people anymore. They're 2.5 ton stones. Now, did they cut those out of some quarry with copper hand tools? It's 21 stadiums. The Melbourne Cricket Ground, it's 100,000 people. I haven't been. I know a few people that have been. Have you ever been to a packed out 100,000 people? It must be chaos. But now all of those people are 2.5 ton stones. All of those people are 2.5 ton stones. But you're going to need 23 of those cricket grounds full of people that are all of a sudden 2.5 ton stones. 23 cricket grounds, packed to the rafters, sold out, right? But 2.5 ton stones. Now, how was that amount of stone cut out of any quarry with copper hand tools? 23 stadiums, 23 cricket grounds, right? Barcelona, El Camp Nou, 99,000 people. Divide 2.3 million by 99,000, it's 23 point something. That's how many stadiums you would need to pack out with people and then turn those people into 2.5 ton stones. Now, is that maybe putting things a little bit more into perspective? So the Egyptians, right, they cut 23, 21 of these stadiums, right, packed to the rafters, not people, but 2.5 ton stones. Can the science please prove it to me? I'm so sick of people saying, prove that they didn't do it. Prove that the Egyptians didn't do it. How can you prove it? How can we prove it? You need proof that the Egyptians didn't cut 21 Michigan stadiums out full of listen, it's crazy. I can't believe we're still doing this, alright? I can't believe it. The Nimitz class aircraft carrier, the USS Nimitz. Alexa, how much does the USS Nimitz weigh?
USS Nimitz weighs 101,624.93 tons.
That's one aircraft carrier, right? Let's call it 100,000 tons, all right? 6.5 million tons. If we divide that by 101, we get 65 Nimitz class aircraft carriers. The weight of 65 Nimitz class aircraft carriers. How did copper tool wielding Egyptians carve the weight, the equivalent weight of 65 Nimitz class aircraft carriers? How long would that, look, let's just stop there, okay? The Saturn V rocket. Alexa, how much does the Saturn V rocket weigh?
Saturn V weighs 2,966 tons. It is 111 metres tall.
So Giza's 30-something metres taller than a Saturn V that weighs 2,966. Alexa, what's 6,500,000 divided by 2,966?
6,500,000 divided by 2,966 is approximately 2,191.5037.
So, for those people that are saying that the Egyptians built Pyramid Giza and other pyramids, the equivalent weight of 2,100 Saturn V rockets. So you've got 2,191 Saturn rockets. That is what Pyramid Giza weighs. So tell me again how the Egyptians pulled 2,191 Saturn V rockets through the desert. How did they carve that out of any quarry using copper hand tools, right? How did they load any of that onto boats without pulleys or wheels? It's an absurdity, but is that even still the word? Can the science show us how they cut just one 2.5 ton stone out using copper hand tools? It's ridiculous, right? It's absolutely ridiculous, but I'm going to play along until somebody else catches on, okay? The Eiffel Tower. Alexa, how much does the Eiffel Tower weigh?
From documents.mx, the Eiffel Tower stands 324 metres tall and weighs 7,300 tonnes.
Alexa, what's 6,500,000 divided by 7,300?
6,500,000 divided by 7,300 is approximately 890.411.
890 Eiffel Towers. Pyramid Giza weighs the same as 890 Eiffel Towers. 890. And they carved that out of which quarry exactly? Using nothing but copper hand tools. That seems, that could kind of fly in the Twilight Zone, maybe. Alexa, how much does the Golden Gate Bridge weigh?
According to an Alexa Answers contributor, San Francisco's Golden Gate Bridge is 887,000 tonnes, or 804.7 million kilograms. The bridge shed 12,300 tonnes, or about 11.16 million kilograms, when its roadway deck was replaced in 1986.
Alexa, how much does the Golden Gate Bridge weigh?
Here is an answer from an Alexa Answers contributor that I translated. According to Wikipedia, the Golden Gate Bridge weighs 887,000 tonnes.
6.5 million divided by 800, what's that going to be? 7. Alexa, what's 6,500,000 divided by 887,000?
6,500,000 divided by 887,000 is approximately 7.3281.
Pyramid Giza weighs the same as 7, let's just call it 7 Golden Gate Bridges. Pyramid Giza weighs the equivalent of 65 Nimitz-class aircraft carriers. The Melbourne cricket ground was packed out to the rafters with 100,000 people, and those 100,000 people suddenly turned into 2.5 ton stones. I mean, just imagine getting that on a bus at the end of the game. So how do we get 100,000 2.5 ton stones onto boats? Oh, but hang on, we've still got another 22 cricket grounds behind us. Also with 100,000 2.5 ton stones that we need to transport. Where would they have cut those out using copper hand tools? That must have taken more than a weekend, yeah? Overtime, you reckon? Bit of overtime? Man fears time, but man also fears the pyramids, because the reality is too much to comprehend, isn't it? It's just so way out there that it's been kind of wrapped up in some kind of absurdity bubble, all right? And when you say, the Egyptians didn't build them, and they say, no, they did. And they say, they carved let's just call it 6 million tons, okay? Copper hand tools, one, just show us how one was done. Just show us how 2.5 ton stone was dragged through the desert. They keep saying, yeah, we can recreate it. Just recreate one stone. Is that too much to ask? See, the science is claiming, right? The science is claiming this, but when it comes to proving it, and everybody's standing up for the science, no, you don't need to do that. The Egyptians built them. How? How did the Egyptians carve 23 cricket grounds, Melbourne cricket grounds worth of people, right? 23 packed out to the rafters, 2.5 ton stones. It's ridiculous. But even more ridiculous, right, is people's of not dealing with the monuments that are stood in front of them, and you're playing this Mickey Mouse chasing game, avoiding the pyramids. Man fears time, but time fears the pyramids. Time doesn't fear anything. The pyramids don't fear anything. But man fears everything, all of the time, right? But to turn their backs on 6.5 million tons of cut limestone that's allegedly cut with copper chisels by the Egyptians, right? To believe this absurdity and continue marching forward is just beyond comprehension. I don't know how else we can put this into perspective, but if people still want to carry on believing that the Egyptians dragged the weight of 65 Nimitz class aircraft carriers through a desert, right? After cutting these blocks out with nothing but copper chisels, copper hand tools, right? And then they loaded them onto boats. And I'm the one that's crazy because I'm questioning this absurdity. The explanation that they've given for the building of Giza. Give me a break, okay? Lock me up, all right? If I'm the crazy one because I'm questioning this, lock me up. But not before you try and cut one stone out of some quarry somewhere and then load that stone onto a boat, off of a boat, and then drag it through 5 kilometers of sand. If you can do that, it's not going to explain how the other 2,299,900, it's ridiculous. No, I am not the crazy one, and just because 99% of the people are carrying on with the Egyptians built the pyramids 4,500 years ago, which clearly is not the case, right? It doesn't mean you're right. In fact, all it means is you must be under some kind of trance. or a spell, because it is quite obvious, right, that nobody dragged the weight of 65 Nimitz-class aircraft carriers through any desert. And it's quite obvious that nobody carved out 2,191 Saturn V rockets worth of weight from any quarry with copper hand tools, okay? But if that's what you do believe, then make sure you keep putting your teeth under the pillow, because the tooth fairy will come during the night and will slip you a couple of dollars, okay? There's no other way of putting this, is there really? No wheel, no pulleys. And people go, prove that the Egyptians didn't do it. Do you hear yourselves? God, he's got some nerve, isn't he? It's the facts, isn't it? It's the evidence, right? It's right in front of people's faces and they are denying it. The Egyptians carved with copper hand tools. Yeah, that's a good theory. That's one. How many more? 2.3 million stones, each weighing 2.5 tons. There's 600 other tons worth of granite blocks, some of them 25 up to 80 tons each, right? The average weight is 600 tons of cut granite. How, with copper tools, how do we do that again? How do we listen? Listen. He's nuts, they say. He's nuts. Maybe we need to look at the numbers again, people.